This week on the Hooters Tour with Lee Moore and Kim Breel.
Coming up this half hour, you'll be hearing from some of the graduates of the Hooters Tour who have become stars and the future stars on the PGA Tour. We'll also visit with two of the biggest names the sport has ever produced. And you're going to meet the man who got it all started. All this and more coming your way next.
Hey, want to spice up your wardrobe without spending a fortune? Hooters has just what you're looking for.
That's right. Just call 1-800-961-2231 and order some terrific Hooters merchandise.
Like shirts, hats, sweats, sunglasses, and more. Hey, are you a race fan?
Call 1-800-961-2231 for great Hooters racing apparel.
And to really make your life complete, there's the Hooters golf bag, umbrella, flying disc, even a subscription to Hooters magazine.
Call 1-800-961-2231 today.
If you take fresh eggs, cream, and right off the farm fresh vegetables, add pure vegetable oil, red wine vinegar, natural honey, herbs and spices, and maybe generous amounts of aged blue cheese in just the right portions, blended under refrigeration to the peak of perfection, you'd know why we call our products naturally fresh.
We blended nature's best naturally.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of This Week on the Hooters Tour. I'm Lee Moore.
And I'm Kim Breel.
This week, Kim, we're at a great place. We're at the Byron Nelson Golf Classic. The gentleman standing right behind us, the statue back there, the legendary Byron Nelson. And, you know, we came here for a special edition of our show, and we met some great guys that had played on the Hooters Tour.
Some guys that I have never met before, like John Daly. What a character. Also, Scott McCarron, who I did know, along with Dickie Thompson, just a lot of the guys that used to play our tour and had high remarks to say about the tour.
And you know, when we think about high remarks, none can be higher than this guy. In 1945, Kim, could you ever imagine someone winning 11 straight tournaments? Will that ever be approached?
I can't imagine that ever being touched on the ladies tour, any mini tour, or the PGA tour.
Or the Hooters Tour.
Or the Hooters Tour.
But we're going to try. Anyway, it's a great show we think we have coming up for you. Some interesting guys that have been there on the Hooters Tour. Now they're here on the big tour. We're at the Byron Nelson Classic this week. We want you to enjoy the rest of the show.
You know, with the Hooters Jordan Tour, the Nike Tour, the Gold Coast Tour we've had here in South Florida, and I'm sure there's tours all over the country that are very similar. It's given some of our young guys an opportunity to develop. That was one of the things that, you know, was really funny. I was sort of on a bandwagon about 7 or 8 years ago about trying to create this, trying to create some places for the young guys to develop. I just thought our tour was too much of a closed shop, and it was just too difficult to get on. And then the young players, they left here and they went overseas and played. And that's ridiculous. I mean, our young players should stay here in this country and learn how to play this game. It's a wonderful game, but they need an opportunity and places to play. So, yeah, my hat is off to Rick Jordan and what he did to try to develop this tour and Hooters sponsorship of it. And the tour came by and it's made the Nike Tour, and of course it was the Hogan Tour, then the Nike Tour, and all the other tours that are trying to give these young guys an opportunity to learn how to play.
At the outset of the show, we showed you the master himself, Byron Nelson.
Byron Nelson, Lee, certainly believes in the future of golf, and the Hooters Tour is just that, the future of professional golf.
You know, there have been new players coming along forever ever since golf's been playing, and of course they're good. And there'll be a group along and a little older, there'll be another group ahead of them, and it'll continue because the amount of monies they're playing, every young kid in the world that likes to play golf at all is going to try to get on the tour because they're making so much money. It is fun to play golf.
I don't think there's any doubt that Byron Nelson, what he did, will withstand the test of time.
Speaking of timely, Rick Jordan started the Hooters Tour about 7 years ago, and there's no doubt in my mind that that has withstood the test of time and will for years to come.
7 years ago, Rick Jordan had a dream. Now the dream is coming full circle. Rick wanted a place for young men to learn how to play on the PGA Tour. And if you think John Daly, Lee Janzen, Tom Lehman, and a brand new guy by the name of Charlie Reimer can play professional golf, then Rick has succeeded in his dream. A dream and more than $5 million of seed money has brought the tour from its beginning. A beginning called first the U.S. Golf Tour, then the TC Jordan Tour, and now the Hooters Jordan Tour. For Rick, this week watching his tour play on live television is almost an emotional time.
Oh, I'm proud as can be being out here and seeing this thing on national TV and having a Hooters organization, which is marvelous organization. They do a lot of charitable work. They very much into helping the communities they go into, and it's part of the reason I made the association. So yeah, I'm delighted.
And how about the players and their thoughts about the tour and its place in their careers? Lee Janzen, one of the world's top performers, puts credit right at Rick Jordan's doorstep.
I feel like he's my sponsor. I've never had a sponsor to back me, but him giving me the opportunity to play on that tour, I was able to compete on a weekly basis, and I made enough money to support myself, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And without that, I don't know if I would have gotten to the tour when I did.
Last year at the Byron Nelson Classic in Dallas, Neil Lancaster won for the first time on the PGA Tour. The North Carolina product says he learned on the old U.S. Golf Tour. He said it provided the level of competition to make him know he had the right stuff.
It gave us a great opportunity to get started in golf, and I know they have fun with being Hooters as a sponsor, and I know they have a good tour going.
John Daly remembers the long car rides, the times that Rick loaned him money for entry fees, and the great friends who encouraged him on. Mike Heinen won last year at the Shell Houston Open, and like the others before him, it was Rick's tour that laid the groundwork. And now the Hooters organization, with its great chain of restaurants across the country, is making a 20-year commitment, and chairman of the board Bob Brooks, like Rick Jordan, is pulling out all the stops to show America that its boys and others from across the world will have the highest quality place to play possible. And for the places, all of us thank our many great Hooters communities across the country.
300 eagles, 3,000 birdies, but no owls. It's the Hooters Tour. Lee and Kim will be right back with highlights featuring some of the best young golf professionals in the world.
Lee, let's start out this segment talking about some of the crop that came out of the 1994 Hooters Tour, namely Scott McCarron and Jay Williamson.
Yeah, a couple of your favorite players, and Scotty helped you, I remember, on a story we were doing down in Atlanta. Well, right now he's making his own kind of story. He says there's not much difference between here and there.
Well, there's not too much difference. It's just a matter of guys getting the break to get out here. These veteran players have been out here for, quite a long time. They've played these courses a lot. They don't make very many mistakes. The scores are pretty much around the same, but there's more lower scores out here, no question. You'll have guys go out, the best players in the world go out, and you'll see 5 guys shooting 65, 4 guys shooting 66. But the cuts are, pretty much the same, even 1 under, 2 under, about the same as the Hooters Tour.
I only played 5 Hooters events last year. I wish I would have played the whole year to get ready for this type of lifestyle. You know, I spent a lot of time in Orlando playing the Tommy Armour Tour, and then, you know, I played the last 5 Hooters events, and that prepared me real well for tour school. But, you know, it didn't. I wish I would have played more for it to prepare me better for the whole year instead of one tournament.
One of the more veteran players on our tour last year, he had prior experience on the PGA Tour, a straight hitter.
That's right. His name's Dickie Thompson. Won twice on our tour in Columbus, Georgia, also in El Paso, Illinois.
Won twice, and you know, that's, you know, those pretty high spots, and being the leading money winner was good because that spread out over the whole year. You know, I didn't win the points, but you know, that was a one-shot deal. So.
You would think that everything is up on playing on the PGA Tour. There is a downside, right, Dickie?
Yeah, it's tough because I don't know when I'm going to play each week. So, like this week, I'm not in yet, and I don't know if I'll be in next week, and you know, I don't know when I'm going to play. So, hopefully, I might get in this week, but I don't know. If I don't, I'll go play a Nike tournament. So.
This next player played the Hooters Tour back in '88, '89. He's from Eastern North Carolina, and they call him Cuz.
They were calling him Sir, I think, at the U.S. Open just a few weeks ago because he set a record for 30 on one of the 9s at the Open. Also on this tour, back when you said in '88, '89, he was a standout player. He's a great one, Neil Lancaster.
It's definitely come a long way. I got a good friend, as we were talking a minute ago, Todd Gleaton. He's playing on the Hooters Tour, and it's definitely a good tour. It gives a lot of guys somewhere to play, and I know they all appreciate Hooters sponsoring it.
And Cuz Lancaster remembers back in '88, '89, a few of the players that have become big names on the PGA Tour.
Me and Lee Jansen, Mike Stanley, a lot of us came up through the Hooters Tour, which was the Jordan Tour then, and it gave us a great opportunity to get started in golf, and I know they have fun with being Hooters as a sponsor, and I know they have a good tour going.
When we come back.
I like that part. We got 3 names that have been out there a long time, and another name that's taken the tour by storm. Stick around for the funny man.
Look! Oh my gosh! It's a little chimp! Oh, he looks like a little person!
They're really not.
Look how smart he is!
They're not very intelligent, honey. They're dopey.
Look at him!
We have a dummy on our hood. Oh, where's he going?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And now, Valley of the Apes.
Hey, you! Why are you sitting at home watching Hooters sports on TV? Why aren't you at Hooters? If you were at Hooters right now, you could be enjoying Hooters' nearly world-famous chicken wings. And other great stuff served up by the Hooters girls. And watching Hooters sports at Hooters is a lot more fun than sitting there by yourself. Hooters makes you happy. See? Now get up off that couch and go to Hooters. Here, let me help you get started. You're not still sitting there, are you?
This next player really epitomizes what it takes to get to the PGA Tour. He's really fought hard.
Yeah, Skip Kendall's a name that everybody recognizes. Sports Illustrated did a piece on him, and the guy's driven in the vans, you know, had all the hard times, the sandwiches and everything, fast food restaurants. Skip Kendall, but he remembers what it was like.
I think it's a lot like the Nike Tour in that the camaraderie is really, really, I guess, prominent on those kind of tours. You know, guys are helping each other out, and whereas out here on the big tour, it's business as usual, and not that, you know, I have my good friends out here, but it's just more of a business and a lot more stressful. But you know, I enjoy it, but you know, those were the good old days, and I remember them well.
You know, Lee, being at the Byron Nelson Classic and talking to these guys, it was interesting for me for them to reminisce about the old days and some of the cities that they went to.
Yeah, Marco Dawson told us about one of the cities in particular. Almost said he would come back and go again if we rescheduled it.
So I like the one spot in Branson, Missouri. That was one of my favorite places. You know, it's just a different part of the country that I'd never been to, and it was a lot of fun. I wish I could have played it the next year, but I don't think they had the tour there the next year.
That's right.
But there was a lot of nice places we went to that the tour doesn't travel to.
In most instances, the first win for a professional golfer doesn't happen on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, it didn't happen that way for Scotty Gump either, and he told us at the Byron Nelson that he remembered that very, very well.
It's a great opportunity for guys to get out there, become better players, gain experience, have putts to win tournaments. You can't buy that. I mean, you have to just get there and go through the steps of knocking it in and feeling good about yourself and all that stuff. So it's so great to have an opportunity other than the PGA Tour.
Watch out, Fuzzy Zeller, and watch out, Peter Jacobsen. There's a new kid on the block.
Yeah, Charlie Rymer's really taken the tour by storm. He finished third at the Shell Houston Open, and the newspapers all across the country were quoting him. Charlie remembers how he got where he is.
I guess, really coming up through the Jordan Tours has helped me a lot, and I know there's a lot of guys out there still trying to work their way up, and I guess it's nice for them to look up and see if somebody can make it out here, so it's especially somebody as nutty as me.
Charlie reminded Kim and I, when you do well on the PGA Tour, it's sweetness and light, but there's a downside.
When you come out here your rookie year, the cards are really stacked against you. It's really difficult to get in a lot of the premium tournaments, and your schedule's very erratic. So if you can grind through your first year and get in the top 125, the second year is a lot easier. So certainly playing well in Houston gives me a big hunk of money towards retaining my card, and also quite a few other good things are starting to happen. I just got an invitation to the Memorial today, which I'm very excited about. I've always been a big fan of that golf course, and also Mr. Nicklaus, and that's his tournament, so that's going to be real special to play there, and I should be getting in Colonial in a couple weeks, and so that's nice. Of course, there's not any bad PGA Tour events, but there's a couple that are really nice to play in, and now I'll get to play in those the rest of the year, so it opened a lot of doors for me.
This week on the Hooters Tour is brought to you in part by Hooters Restaurants, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. By Bud Light, it won't fill you up, never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Naturally fresh, preservative-free salad dressing, sauces, and dips. And by Jackaroo Barbecue Sauce, big taste from a big place.
My barbecue sauce has the big, bold taste that really makes barbecue taste great. Barbecue sauce.
That's not barbecue sauce. This is barbecue sauce.
Jackaroo barbecue sauce. Big taste from a big place.
A couple of years ago, Mike Heinen was named PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. And as he looks back on his Hooters Tour career, he remembers one great shot.
I still do remember that. I played in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I made my first and only hole-in-one in a tournament. And Mr. Jordan was probably one of the few spectators there watching. So that was pretty neat. And he comes up to me every time, he says, I still remember you making that hole-in-one.
One of my curiosities in talking to Mike Heinen was, tell me the difference between the PGA Tour players and the best players on the Hooters Tour.
There's not. I mean, it's proven it. I mean, you've got a lot of players that come off the tour and come play well out on the PGA Tour, and it's deeper out here, but it's only because the best players off the Hooters Tour are coming out here and playing, and the best players off the Nike Tour are coming out here playing, and we're playing against the best players in the world. And young guys are winning tournaments on the PGA Tour, so it proves that it's not a very big step.
If you go back 7 or 8 years ago, the Hooters Tour was called the USGT before it got its great name today. And one of the players that was the leading money winner back then was Lee Janzen.
Yeah, that was in '89, right before the Hogan Tour, which became the Nike Tour, got started. And tell us the rest, Lee.
And we all knew the Hogan Tour was coming, so I felt like, well, if I finished #1 on the money list, then I would move up. So I'll just, I feel like I should get through the tour school, but the tour school is really tough. And playing the tournaments year-round gets you mentally ready at all times, and I feel like that I got myself ready for tour school to play.
We said it before, going to say it one more time. Lee Janzen, along with all the other players, really loved the housing and the camaraderie out on the Hooters Tour.
Yeah, he did. He said it was like being back in college and playing golf there, and I think all the players appreciate that, right, Lee?
Well, it was the same people every week. We traveled a lot, so we were going to the same town, seeing the same people with the tournament, so that was a lot of fun. It made it like a fraternity type deal, being together like that. And
did Ray cash your checks?
Did Ray cash them? they all cashed.
And when Lee and a lot of other guys remember the tour back in the old days, there's one name that quickly comes to mind. That was the guy they sort of referred to in a special way, Rick Jordan.
Yeah, I feel like he's my sponsor. I've never had a sponsor to back me, but him giving me the opportunity to play on that tour, I was able to compete on a weekly basis, and I made enough money to support myself, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And without that, I don't know if I would have gotten to the tour when I did.
Lee, this next young man that we're going to introduce, I'll bet you that a lot of people don't realize that he got his start on the Hooters Tour.
Yeah, well, if you talk to him about 2 or 3 minutes and have the time, he'll certainly tell you he was proud. John Daly.
I think just knowing we had a place to play at that time, what Mr. Jordan did for golf, for the guys who didn't really have the money to fly overseas, we had a place to play, and I'll never forget it as long as I live.
An interesting note about Mr. Daly. He told us he's never had a lesson.
Well, that's the only way I play. I mean, the drive on 14 kind of proved that last week. I'll never play for second. That's just not the way I play. I'd rather have a chance to win a golf tournament and finish the way I did, 12th, than to not give myself a chance to win a tournament. It's just something it's just the way I learned I taught myself how to play, and I don't ever want to change that.
For John, there was the dream. Back in Dardanelle, Arkansas, he was learning the game on a 9-hole course.
My only dream was to get out here. As a young kid, I'm not one of the traditionalists on tour, as a lot of people know. I wasn't thinking about, Augusta that much or all the majors and stuff. I just wanted to be out here, and I wanted to play in front of people. Goals weren't really set to win majors or anything like that. I just wanted to be out here and have the fans on my side and play for them.
John's battles, both professional and personal, have been well documented. Currently, John is winning his biggest tournament.
The biggest tournament I've won is being sober and to give myself a chance to be out here, to do this in front of the people and to play for them.
Tell me, people like Hooters and Rick Jordan, what does it mean to have people like that want to do something for the guys that are trying to get ahead? Some of your old buddies, Crockett and Dean and those guys trying to get out here. What's it mean to have Hooters and people like that put their money up?
It's wonderful, and I hope they keep doing it. I know Mr. Jordan will, no matter whatever happens. That's the type of person he is. He wants to do it. He's not doing it for himself or recognition. He's doing it for guys who want to get out on the tour, and that's the kind of guy he is. And I spent a lot of time with Mr. Jordan when I was out there and stuff, and just the things that he wanted to do with golf and to get young kids or even some older guys to a place to play. If we can't play the PGA Tour, the Nike Tour, even the Senior Tour for some guys, they've got a place to play, and that's what Mr. Jordan provides for them.
John's a big supporter of his old tour. He knows it's a well-run, highly competitive place to play.
There's some real good players on the Hooters Tour. There's good players on any tour you play, and I just want to thank Mr. Jordan for letting me play his tour and giving me the opportunity to do it. And for all the guys that are, I remember sleeping in my cars and stuff. Hey, all I cared about was getting that entry fee into Mr. Jordan so I could play the tournaments. I know what it feels like, and I'll always remember it. And for guys like that, you never forget about him. I mean, it was a jump start of my career, and I can't thank him enough. And I just hope Hooters. I think Hooters will do the same. I think it's not only a great restaurant, but it's a great sponsorship for Mr. Jordan.
It's great when you have the opportunity to meet some of the guys that you only hear names about from the past. And I'm sure that everybody that watched the show and our special today is glad to know where they got their start.
Yeah, and we're going to have some other guys that are going to be making the same kinds of record out there on the big tour. Now, Kim, as we say goodbye, let's also let you check out an update on our money list for the Hooters Tour, and also on that big bonus points race. Remember, it's $100,000 on that National League Fresh Points Championship on the line. Thanks a lot for joining us this week on the Hooters Tour. We'll see you later.
I never won one on your tour, but I don't think I ever missed a cut on your tour, so that was my high point. I think I was very consistent playing the Hooters Tour, and the cuts are very difficult. So, me not missing a cut was good. To me, that proved something to myself in my own mind and helped me to go on to the next level.
I was just up on the putting green putting with Tom Watson, and for the last couple of years, I've kind of idolized him, and now I have to get over that and realize that we both start at 0 this week, and I've got to go out and try to beat him. It's a different mindset, and it's tough to create goals for yourself, realistic goals.
I actually try to play with the veteran players out here, trying to learn as much as I can. Tom Kite, I spoke with him last week, and he says every chance you get, hang around the guys that are winners, and so I'm really trying to do that.
It's just hard sometimes to make people understand there's certain times that we can't sign autographs. But I try and do it as much as I can, and really, basically, if there's a kid that needs an autograph, I'll sign it no matter what I'm doing.
All these guys are out here. I hadn't had a chance to play with them up until Houston, so I've been playing with other meathead rookies just like me. So, we know they're out here and see them in the locker room, but we really hadn't got a chance to interact with them a lot.
I mean, all the things that you had to do, all the people that you had to run across in the very beginning, I mean, they're still there, and you can't forget those people, because without them, you'd never be where you are.